I went onto Amazon and bought the cheapest hot tent that the platform offers. This is supposed to be a fully functional hot tent for only about 60 bucks. This tent is absolutely not a sponsor of today's video. I've never even set the tent up before because I figured that would be so much more fun for us to do together. And hey, if anything goes wrong, you'll be right there with me to witness the spectacle. No matter what, I'm pretty sure things are gonna work out just fine. After all, I'm Sam Bananas. Okay, pretty little, actually. This is kind of like one of those, I guess you call it like a pyramid style. So it's like a teepee, kind of. There's the bag. So there's the tent. Comes with a stove jack. Pretty sure these are aluminum. Comes with a big old bunch of tent stakes there, and then some black guy line and those little tensioners and stuff. For the pole, what do we got popping? Okay. Oh boy. All right, well this is the pole that supports the tent, and it's shorter than I am. And I'm certainly not the tallest guy, which means this tent is probably pretty small, which makes sense why it doesn't cost that much money. Donatello. So underneath the bottom there, that's like the middle of like the interior of the tent. So that's what the pole will push up against, and it's nice and reinforced. So I think it's not like the nicest looking thing I've ever seen, but I think it'll get us by for the night. Oh, there's also a loop on the other side, so you could tie that in between two trees. Kind of use it as that to hold it up instead of the pole, so that is frees you up a bunch of space inside too. There's a few ways to do it. We're gonna use the pole for this time. I don't think this thing came with any instructions. Yeah, then we'll go ahead and roughly do it about like that. Basically, you always have to kind of fiddle with these things after they're up, which is, it's not a problem. So there's more than 4 stakeout points, but what I'm doing is I'm going to roughly stake it out in kind of 4 different areas. So that way, it's enough for me to get the pole up there, and that kind of makes it easier to fiddle with it at that point. You'll see when it comes together. So you go ahead and take the door here, and that allows you to access the middle a little better, and that's pretty close. It's actually not too bad. So we want this taut, so we're going to go ahead and pull this back here. Bada bang. And then like, once you got that, come over, pull this out. And this thing has these little tensioners, I'll show you in a second, but kind of pull that out. You can see it's starting to take shape here. Bada bang. All right, so this is slightly bigger than I thought it was gonna be. That's okay. Because now I'm staking it down the hill, which might still work out fine, honestly. But if I need to move it back in just a little bit, now that I got the gist of it, I think it's going to be okay. Looking pretty good. You come back here, you always got to fiddle with it. That's pretty good. It's all rolled up for now. That's not too bad. That's actually like a bunch of room. That could probably come up. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. I think we pretty much got it there. This is definitely compact quarters. I brought a chair. I don't think I will be sitting on the chair in here. Who knows? We'll get everything set up. Stove's got to go right there, so we're on our way. So it's got these little tensioners here. So what I do is kind of let that out. So we got some slack all the way around. Get that, so then that pole has a little space to move on the inside. From there, go ahead and go around and just pull these all so you have a nice taut pitch. So I'll go all the way around and do that. Okay, we're gonna do this all together. So right now that's just a hole. Oh shoot. Well, that's interesting. There's problem number one. So when you roll this up like this, you've got this thing here. And once you get this all nice and tidy, you pull it down here, and that's gonna keep that up. By going through a loop on the other side, unfortunately, this was pre-broken. You can see there's like a fold right there. So it should be up and sewed, and then that would go like that. We're gonna see how we can make do for the night. Oh God, that's not good. Okay, I got some cordage. We'll get it figured out. All right, so here's the stove jack. It's got like the one side of Velcro, each side, yada yada. It sticks to this, so then, yeah, so this goes like this. Probably should have done this before. It's okay. You guys are used to it if you're used to watching my channel. You're used to watching me do things backwards. Unprepared, unplanned. It's half the fun. There we go. But now this thing is flippity flopping in our faces. Yeah, so what are we gonna do about that? Doggone it. Okay, kind of putzing around with this thing here. I think I can just kind of ball this up, run some cordage around that, and that should just like stay put at least for overnight. When I get home, I'll sew it. Of course, I'm gonna have to brace myself for 100 comments of people telling me to bring a small sewing kit with me, which is okay. It's not a bad tip. However, the other problem I'm running into here is that we got these low overhanging branches. So even if I move it back a little bit, I don't think it's gonna be enough room. I think I'm gonna need to spin the tent. So I'm gonna do that off camera because I'm sure you don't want to watch it. And I'll check back with you and show you what it looks like as soon as I'm done. Okay, so now I'm just clearing out all these little brush pieces here. That ain't too shabby. That ain't too shabby. Now, I don't have my opening pointed towards a nice, pretty view of the water. However, bada bing. Not too super shabby over here, huh? I know I keep saying the same things over and over again. I always do that. Okay, not too bad, huh? The easiest way I find to deal with these guys is just to put a little cross right in the middle, and that usually does us just fine. Poke that through and I'll just make that wider if I need to. Well, I am working up an appetite and I'm already looking forward to dinner, to be honest with you. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you know that I've tried to put an effort into becoming a better cook, even if it's only for the sake of the video. I'm actually getting to the point where I think I might need some kind of an edge to up my game. Well, my good lad, I've got just the thing for you. Whoa, Nigel Bananas? My cousin from England? Where did you come from? Yes, yes, cheerio and all that, my good man. Now listen up, chap. If you want to up your cooking game, you needn't look any further than MasterClass. By Jove! You can start with one of Gordon Ramsay's classes on MasterClass. In fact, you can start with one of his classes that teaches you how to make restaurant meals at home. Wow, that sounds pretty cool. So basically you're saying it's like a cooking website? Poppycock! No, it's a website with many classes. Not only can you increase your cooking prowess in the kitchen, or the campfire as it were, you can learn a plethora of worldly skills. I'll have you know, I've been learning to become a better tennis player from America's own beloved Serena Williams. You can learn to become a better writer. You can learn to become a better businessman. Anything your cheeky little heart desires. If you want to get a cheeky little deal this holiday season, you can get up to 50% off of an annual MasterClass subscription. Just click the link in my description or scan the QR code on screen so they'll know who sent you. Learn from the world's best to become your best with MasterClass. And don't forget to tell them you had a cheeky little chinwag with your best mate, Nigel Bananas. Thanks again to MasterClass for sponsoring this video and helping to keep me in business. All right, everybody, let's get back into the action. Okay, bada bing. We got it, baby. And these little tabs just slide in here. Oh, yeah. And there you have it. Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. Okay. That's pretty good. Okay, so I did put that on backwards. However, I think it's actually going to work out better backwards. It is interchangeable, so you can do it either way. But I actually need more space going that way than I do coming this way. And I can just go to the side of it and cook on it. I think it'll work out perfectly fine this way, so I'm going to leave it like this. If I need to change it later, I'll change it later. We're not going to start the fire right off the bat. Slides right on in there. That's good. Give me a minute. We want to get all of these leaves kind of pulled out, or as much as possible. Just push it away from the opening. So I think for today's camp, having the stove go this way is going to be better, because if it comes forward, it's just going to push more into the middle of the camp, or it's just going to push more into like the middle of the tent. So here you can see I got it going backwards just a little bit, and this is where I have a lot of space. So for this, I think it'll work out better to go this way. Just a little too. Well, that could work. That could potentially work. I could potentially have a nice little sit in here. That might not be too bad. I forgot about daylight savings time that happened a couple days ago, and I got a little bit of a late start today, which means it's gonna be dark very soon. So that's okay. There are worse things, for sure. Those are definitely not the prettiest curls, but it'll help my fire going just fine. Don't need anything super big yet. We'll just... All right, now a lot of people get, concerned when they see that it gets dark and I don't have enough firewood. So just to explain that, here's the hot tent, and then right up on this hill is just tons. You can't even see it all, but there's a ton of firewood. I mean, within a 5-second walk, there's more than I could go through tonight. So I got a nice little starter bundle, and yes, we will be probably getting some more in the after dark time period, because I might want to do a fire out here. We'll see if I feel like it. We'll see where the night takes us. Shove that bag in there a little bit. Doesn't that look nice, cozy, and inviting? Twig off. As I sit out here and I wait for my water to boil that's on the stove in there, kind of starting to get thinking about dinner, possibly making a fire out here. Yeah, you can see here, this water just does not want to come all the way to a boil. And that fire is just cranking in there, so yeah. You can cook on here, you can boil water on here, but it's a little tough. So real quick before I forget, thank you to everyone in a previous video for mentioning to take my water bottle that had hot water in it and put it in the stream. I've been doing that since my very first YouTube video I ever made. I don't know why I didn't think to do it a few videos back, but yeah, either way, I do appreciate the insight on people, and it's always nice to have a good reminder. At this point, the wood stove is over there chilling. I got a nice big log in there just kind of smoldering for when I'm ready to kick it back up. Got my table set up. I'm ready to get into cooking. I think it's about that time of the night. And I might even be ready to crack into a beer. But before I do any of that, I've got to take a little nip off of the old banana flask. Woo! Oh, goodness sakes. Got a bite on it. That is that, keep forgetting the name of it, good old Patreon subscriber Joe. Tossed me a bottle of that. Still working my way through it. All right, everybody, without further ado, let's get into it. It is already starting to get kind of chilly out here. I'm going to chop up all my stuff and prep my food. And so I'm gonna stoke this back up, and I think I am gonna cook in here. And the reason I'm going to do that, even though it's kind of easier to cook on the fire like that, I think the reason I'm gonna do this is because people are probably pretty curious, if they clicked on this video, how is the tent performing? And I haven't really done that or talked about that at all. So we're gonna go ahead and cook with this thing and spend some time in here. And I got a nice little fire going out there. I'll go back out there and have a little relaxation session after I'm done cooking dinner. Maybe I'll eat my dinner out there, we'll see. That to be kind of pretty close to being done. So I'm about to put these peppers and onions in there and cook it all in that. Greasy, greasy. Oof, it is roasting. I don't have a little thermometer. I had one last year. I'm not sure what happened to it. It was super cheap. I repurchased it. It's on the way. However, outside temperature right now is 46. It's not the coldest thing in the entire world, but it is a little chilly. So I still have the door open. That sucker is just blasting. This is where I'm at. And that's the heater right there, so, or the stove. We're gonna go ahead and enjoy our loaded up baked beans here. Of course, we gotta have our special ingredient. All right. One bite, everybody knows rules. There's the pepper. Oh my goodness. That is so good. That was just a really good wintertime, fall, kind of cold weather meal. Stick to your ribs type of food. Gonna go and crack into this. Tropic Force from Voodoo Ranger. That is good. That hits the spot, man. Man, those peppers are just so juicy. It is nice and toasty warm in here. I'm going to chill out in here for a little bit. I'm going to enjoy the warmth, enjoy the ambiance, and relax a little bit. And yeah, I'll check back with you guys in a little bit. Yeah, I think we're gonna be done with the outside fire here. Temperature's starting to drop, and kind of feeling like enjoying the coziness of the tent, even though it's cramped quarters in there. I'm just gonna spend a little time out here chopping up some firewood for the tent. I got a couple really important things to talk to you about. So let me get this done, then we'll get back into the tent. I'll go over a couple of juicy tidbits with you. Oh, that hits a spot. A couple of points I wanted to cover before I hit the hay. Lots and lots of people will always comment whenever I camp in a tent like this, it needs a floor. Why doesn't it have a floor? Hot tents are often don't have floors. I maybe have approximately, I would say like 8 of them, and maybe like 2 of them have floors. Believe it or not, it's really difficult to keep mud and dirt and everything out of your tent when you're coming in and out, when you're in like a snowy, melty, yucky situation. And it's easy to say take your boots on and off as you enter and exit the tent. In my personal experience, and many other YouTubers who hot tent camp really prefer the floorless version. If you like a version that has a floor, knock yourself out. But I find this to be more practical. I also like tarp camping. So you'll see me tarp camping a lot. I think it's rustic and it's fun and it kind of gets you closer to nature. And this is sort of similar to that in a way. Heat rises, and this is primarily here to trap some of the heat down. But yeah, to each their own, and do whatever you want. You know, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I prefer it this way. I also noticed, and you might too, that this tent does not go all the way to the ground. I could probably finagle that. I'm not super concerned with it because it's going to be in like the 40s tonight, and I'm used to camping in much colder weather. There is a model of this tent that has a snow skirt, which, if you don't know what a snow skirt is, it's like extra material that presses out onto the ground and is just kind of prevents snow from getting underneath the tent. And I wanted to camp in the cheapest hot tent on Amazon. That was my goal. So I went with the cheapest version. We've got a couple of vents up here, so that's nice. You can close those as well. This is a very basic hot tent, but I have to conclude it is functional. To be honest with you, one of the most expensive parts of hot tenting is the stove. This is a winter well, and it is an excellent, super lightweight backpacking hot stove, but it ain't cheap. So if you want a hot tent camp, this is a good starter option for you. See if you like it. It's a lot of work, honestly, but it's neat because you're in a heated thing in the winter months. You know, one of the things that is really crazy that I just thought about while I was sawing up all this wood. I shot my very first YouTube video in September of 2020. It took me a while to figure out how to edit it, and then to be happy with the edit. I finally did post the video in November of 2020. So I would say that ultimately YouTube started for me in November of 2020, which means roughly at this time I am on a 5-year anniversary. November 13, 2020. It's a little bittersweet to look back on it. The thumbnail, the tarp tent, and my little puppy Monty, who's passed away earlier this year. Oh man, I've talked a lot about it, and I don't want the channel to be this big downer thing, so I'm not going to go back into talking more about the two dogs that we lost in the past year. Still got baby Killian. He's still doing great, and he'll be out soon. It's been a heck of a journey, that's for sure. All right, well, I am feeling pretty cozy. Oh, good night, everybody. Whew. Good morning. The whole thing goes back into the bag perfectly nicely. I shoved it in there. I barely kind of semi-rolled it and just crammed everything in there. I didn't put the tent stakes in there, but I think we can squeeze them in. Overall, tent is pretty good, I'd say. Buy it, don't. I don't give a crap. But most of all, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Got a nice clean campsite here. And I'm just going to leave this wood pile for the next person who stumbles along this campsite. That is another one in the books. Hope you enjoyed that one as much as I did. Big shout out to each and every one of you. You all make it possible for me to do this. If you liked what you saw today and you want to see more, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that banana. We're going to catch you on the next one, everybody. Bye now.